I want to ask you something that could flip your entire view of life upside down. Do you think being a good person keeps you safe? Do you believe kindness protects you? That generosity builds loyalty. That honesty guarantees respect. If you answered yes to any of those, then listen carefully, because you have been living under the most dangerous lie society has ever sold you. The biggest mistake people make is thinking goodness equals safety. But here is the brutal truth: goodness is fire. And fire, if left uncontrolled, destroys everything: your relationships, your career, your dreams. Niccolo Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He watched kind leaders collapse, generous rulers betrayed, and honest men destroyed by the very people they helped, and he wrote it all down. Today, I am going to reveal that hidden truth, the shocking cost of blind goodness, and how to transform it into unstoppable power. But before we begin, I need to make something very clear. I am not telling you to become cruel. I am not asking you to hurt anyone. What I am showing you is how to be good strategically, not blindly, because in a world full of wolves, sheep get eaten. Drop this in the comments right now. I choose strategic goodness. From today, everything changes. Think about the kindest person you know. Now ask yourself this: are they deeply respected, or are they the one everyone calls only when they need something? Here is the cold truth: being too good does not make you safe. It makes you predictable. It makes you vulnerable. People know you will not fight back. They know you will not say no. They know you will swallow the pain and smile anyway. And the moment people realize that, you stop being seen as a leader and start being seen as a doormat, the office worker who covers for everyone, the friend who always pays the bill, the family member who always sacrifices. They are not respected. They are used. I knew a man once, best team manager I had ever met. He covered for his people. He supported them. He put their needs before his own. And guess what happened? When it was time for a promotion, they picked someone else. Why? Because too nice. Never looks like leadership. It looks like servitude. Machiavelli said it best: the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. And you have been trying to survive as a sheep in a world full of wolves. No wonder you keep getting hurt. Drop this in the comments. I protect my energy. Let me hit you with something that feels upside down. The more you give, the less people value it. Sounds wrong, right? But watch how it plays out. Generosity gives you applause at first. People cheer. They praise you. They say, "You are amazing." And it feels incredible. But over time, something toxic creeps in. Your kindness turns into their expectation. Your giving becomes their entitlement. And eventually, your sacrifice becomes their resentment. Here is how it works. Help someone once, and they are grateful. Help them twice, and they are thankful. Help them 10 times, and suddenly, they do not see it as kindness anymore. They see it as your duty, and the moment you say no, they forget the 9 times you said yes. They only remember the 1 time you refused. Now you are selfish. Now you are the villain. Parents know this pain. The gift excites the child. By the 10th gift, it is no longer special. It is just expected. Say no once, and suddenly you are unfair. Friends do it too. The one who always pays the bill, always drives, always helps everyone move. At first, people are grateful. Later, they stop saying thank you. When that person finally asks for help, everyone else is suddenly too busy. That is the generosity trap. You give so much that giving becomes your identity. And the moment you stop, people turn on you. Psychology has a name for this hedonic adaptation. Humans adapt to good things so quickly that what was once special becomes normal. Your endless kindness stops shining, but the one time you pull back, that burns in their memory forever. At work, you stay late every night. Nobody notices. Leave on time once. Now you are not committed. In relationships, you always compromise. It becomes expected. Say no once, and you are difficult. Machiavelli knew this. He said, benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way they will taste better. Why? Because scarcity creates value. Abundance kills it. Drop this in the comments. I give strategically. Here is a truth that will make some people uncomfortable. The world does not reward who you truly are. It rewards who you appear to be. People do not care if you are genuinely good. They care if you look good. They do not judge your heart. They judge your image. And this is why the smartest, most powerful people play a game most never realize exists. They wear the mask of virtue. Think about it. Do you honestly believe the most successful leaders got there by being endlessly nice to everyone? No. They got there by being selective, by choosing when to show kindness, when to show strength, and when to show neither. They smile in public, but make ruthless decisions in private. They extend mercy only when it benefits them. They project goodness while quietly holding power. This is not fakeness. This is strategy. Imagine a surgeon cutting you open. Is that cruelty? No. It is painful, but it saves your life. Real leaders operate the same way. Sometimes true goodness looks like temporary harshness. Here is the mistake most people make. They show weakness to enemies and toughness to friends. The wise do the opposite. They protect their allies, but they never let opponents see their soft side. Machiavelli captured it perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Perception shapes reality. If people see you as weak, you become weak. If people see you as strong, you become strong. So remember this, your image is not decoration. It is armor. It is weaponry. It is power. Drop this in the comments. I control my power. Every choice you make has a cost. Yes, you give, every favor you grant, every extra hour you sacrifice. It all drains from one account, your limited energy. Here is what most good people never understand: your time, your focus, your strength. These are currencies, and if you spend them carelessly, you go bankrupt. Unlimited kindness is not noble. It is unsustainable. You give and give until you are running on fumes, and then you wonder why you feel empty, resentful, and invisible. Think about airplane safety instructions. They tell you, put your oxygen mask on first. Why? Because if you pass out trying to save someone else, now 2 people need rescuing instead of 1. Life works the same way. If you deplete yourself for everyone else, you do not become a hero. You become a burden. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I said yes to everyone. Every quick favor. Every just 5 minutes. And you know what happened? My projects died, my dreams stalled. And the people I sacrificed for, half of them did not even notice. Here is the truth. Every yes to others is a no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself long enough, eventually you abandon everyone. The greatest leaders, the most impactful givers, were not people who said yes to everything. They said no to almost everything, so they could say a powerful yes to the right things. Machiavelli put it bluntly, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You cannot command anyone else until you can command yourself, your time, your focus, your resources. That is where true power begins." Drop this in the comments. I protect my resources. Here is the brutal truth. Virtue is powerful, but only when it is used with precision, kindness, honesty, mercy. These are not universal keys that unlock every door. Used blindly, they backfire. Used strategically, they elevate you. Think of virtue like fire. In the fireplace, it warms the whole house. But spill it everywhere, and it burns everything down. Most people misunderstand this. They think always be good is the safest path, but history proves the opposite. The world's most ruthless tyrants were not taken down by villains. They were taken down by people who projected virtue, but wielded it like a weapon. Machiavelli himself warned, "It is well to appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, religious. But you must be prepared, when the occasion requires, to act against all of these." Read that again. It is not about abandoning virtue. It is about controlling it, directing it, choosing when to reveal it and when to conceal it. For example, show mercy when it strengthens loyalty. Withhold it when it invites weakness. Tell the truth when it earns trust. Stay silent when it would harm your enemy. Virtue becomes dangerous only when you let it rule you. But when you rule it, it becomes unstoppable. Do not think of goodness as your identity. Think of it as your strategy. Drop this in the comments. I use virtue with strategy. Power is not just about what you give. It is about what you refuse to give. Most people destroy themselves because they have no boundaries. They say yes when they should say no. They allow access to people who do not deserve it. They give their time, their energy, their focus to anyone who asks. And then they wonder why they feel drained, why they feel invisible, why they feel powerless. Here is the secret: boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They let the right people in and keep the wrong people out. Think of a king. The king does not sit in the town square handing out favors to strangers. He sits behind walls with gates that only open selectively. That is not arrogance. That is structure. That is survival. In your life, the same rule applies. If everyone has unlimited access to you, then your presence holds no value. If your time is free for anyone, then no one respects it. Boundaries create weight. They create respect. They say, my time matters. My energy matters. My life matters. And here is the paradox. The moment you set boundaries, the right people actually value you more. Because people do not respect what they can exploit, they respect what they can lose. Machiavelli knew this too. He wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle liars, deceivers. They shun danger and are greedy for gain." In other words, if you do not protect yourself with boundaries, people will consume you until nothing is left. So here is your choice. Be endlessly available and endlessly disrespected, or set boundaries and become untouchable. Drop this in the comments. My boundaries protect my power. Here is one of the biggest traps in life: living for approval, chasing love, trying to make everyone happy. It feels noble, right? Be kind, be agreeable, never upset anyone, and in return, people will love you. But that is not how reality works. The more you try to be loved, the more people learn to use you. They test your limits. They see how far they can push. And every time you bend, every time you break, their respect for you collapses. Here is the cold truth. Respect will protect you. Love will not. Machiavelli said it best. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. And before you panic, understand this. Fear does not mean cruelty. It means strength. It means certainty. It means people know your boundaries, and they know what happens when those boundaries are crossed. Being loved feels good, but being respected keeps you safe. Look at history. The leaders who were obsessed with being adored were the ones overthrown, betrayed, or destroyed. The leaders who commanded respect, even their enemies treated them carefully. The danger of chasing love is this: love fades. Respect endures, so stop trying to be liked by everyone. You will waste your life in that endless chase. Instead, be respected by the right people. And let the rest think what they want. This in the comments. Respect over approval. Power is not gentle. Power is not polite. Power is not soft. It is ruthless. It is sharp. It is unforgiving. And here is what most people will never admit. If you want to survive in a world built on competition, you cannot play by the rules of comfort. You must play by the rules of power. Look around you. The strongest nations, the biggest corporations, the most influential leaders, they do not rise by being endlessly nice. They rise by being decisive, by being disciplined, by being willing to do what others fear. Power is not about hurting people. It is about being untouchable. It is about positioning yourself so high that no one can knock you down. But here is the problem. Most people sabotage themselves. They avoid conflict at all costs. They trade strength for peace. They say, "I just want harmony." And what happens? They get walked on. They get ignored. They get forgotten. Machiavelli warned, "A prince who is not himself wise cannot be well advised." In other words, if you do not take command of your own strength, no one else can save you. The ruthless reality is this: power belongs to those who dare, those who protect themselves without apology, those who strike when it matters most. If you keep waiting for permission to be strong, you will wait your whole life. Drop this in the comments. Power protects me. Here is the ending truth, the one most people run from. Nice people finish last, not because kindness is weak, but because kindness without ruthlessness is incomplete. Life is not fair, the world is not gentle, and power does not fall into the hands of those who hope for it. It falls into the hands of those who take it. Ruthlessness does not mean cruelty, it means clarity. It means cutting off what drags you down. It means refusing to beg for approval. It means choosing strategy over emotion. Every single time, the people you admire most, the leaders, the visionaries, the game changers, were not endlessly agreeable. They were decisive. They were disciplined. They were willing to be hated in the short term, to be remembered in the long term. Machiavelli's final whisper is this: fortune favors the bold, not the soft, not the passive, not the endlessly forgiving, the bold. So here is the choice in front of you: keep chasing approval, hoping the world will be kind. Or step into ruthlessness, claim the power that is already yours. Because in the end, you can live liked and die forgotten, or live respected and die legendary. The decision is yours. Drop this in the comments. Ruthlessness wins.